fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight we've got the Alive Church Xfinity Series here in the Greg Biffle Memorial 200. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Mr. Adam the Bulldog. Adam, we're out here at Old Texas today. How we feeling about that?
I like Texas. Some guys don't. I like the old one better than I like the new one. I think it's a lot more racy and whatnot. But I think we're going to have a pretty good performance. And let's see if we can keep some streaks alive from last week. Had some new winners.
Yeah, Michael Ottoviani and Victory Lane last week. You think this is a good track for him, Adam?
I do. I like what I've been seeing from him. I mean, he's qualifying up front. You know, that's one of your pet peeves. You got to be in it to win it, and he's on the outside pole tonight already. And he's got Mr. Mile and a Half right behind him.
Yeah, that's a great starting spot for him. We'll see how it all plays out. Of course, tonight's race is about Mr. Greg Biffle, and unfortunately, we've lost a good, person, a good person in the community, good driver, a good representative. And a true shame here, Adam, to see a good one go down.
Yeah, the circumstances are everything, and he was on his way down to Florida to be in another charity event with Cletus McFarland or Garrett Mitchell, as everybody knows him, and it's just a shame that so many people's lives were lost in that. And from what we've been hearing, it sounds like a bird strike possibly, which is just unthinkable. But they're racing with the ones that have went on before us in the sky now, with the big man upstairs, the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know something that was near and dear to your heart, the flood victims up there in Carolina. He did a lot of work using his personal helicopter to go up there and help people. Maybe, I mean, it's just, from all I've heard about him, he's a good one. And I don't know why, Adam, but it seems like the good ones are the ones we lose all the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't just North Carolina. He went to the Bahamas. He also went down to Puerto Rico. He went to Jamaica when they were having problems down there. And he did many other things even before, the North Carolina stuff happened. And, it flew under the radar, but he was a really cool guy. Got to meet him personally. Had some fun at his expense due to Jimmy Johnson's domination at Martinsville. But even he took that with, lightheartedness and a laugh, awesome guy.
We'll try and get into some of those stories as the race goes along. I'm sure you got a couple of good stories about the Biff, and I'm sure a lot of yous are racing. We see a lot of cars out here actually with that familiar 16, at least on the hood there. Trying to find one right now. I don't think most of them are in the garage, but there's 2 or 3 guys anyway running that 16. That's always good to see, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, pay tribute to a fellow driver, and NASCAR being the tight community that it is, it just makes it a little bit more special.
It does. You see Claus Williams there with that 16. Now, I believe that is his natural number, but he's changed that font, and that is the Biffle font right there. As we are about ready to go racing here, Adam, we got to turn our attention a little bit towards this race. I think we're going to have a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a decent temperature tonight. We're not cooking it like in the desert. I think we're going to have some grip. Should have some fun race cars.
Definitely should. Let's get into tonight's starting grid. It's George Leal on the point with a time of 29.349. Michael Ottoviani, last week's winner, will be starting on the outside of row 1. Row 2 features the Warden, Daren Bruce, and Lance Buckshot Repka. Rick Thompson will start 5th with Jason Brantley 6th. Tony Ratliff will start 7th with Paul Travis in 8th. Row 5 has got Troy Torgerson and Jason Spear. Brad Collins with a nice starting spot tonight in 11th with the Toad Man on his outside. A little further back in the field, we've got Shane Fleming and Jason Jackson, Hunt and Tom Ashley, Lapreme, Buskirk, Baris, who's your points leader, by the way. He's back in 19th. He's got work to do, so that's going to be a bit of a struggle for him tonight. We'll see how he fares. Craig Martin there in 20th. Claus Williams, Herb Ashley, Tom Lester, Eric Whiting, and it looks like Rachel Hunt on pit road. Good lineup here tonight. 24 cars have taken to the track. Hunt may come out. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I just got a message. Rachel's not feeling very well right now. She just said frustrated smile.
Yeah, 10-4. That's too bad. We know Rachel's struggling these days, and hope she gets to feeling better. Pace car about to take off the track. There it goes. We're ready to go racing here in the Greg Biffle Memorial 200.
Green flag, green flag.
Down and away. A little checkup on the inside there. Looks like everybody got that sorted out pretty good.
Yeah, they had a good start on the low line, but top line didn't get going right off the bat.
Yeah, it looked like Paul Kay a little unstable up there. Jason Spear had to check out. Oh, and we got the 50 car. Oh, Robert Lapreme spinning all over the place. And you see Claus Williams may have been caught up in that. Early carnage here.
Oh, man.
Let's have a look at it here. There we go, the Looney Tunes machine, the 50. He comes out of the corner, checks up a bit, and he gets run over for his checkup. The 66 of Nick Baris getting into him there. Tough situation for all involved.
Yeah, it was a very, very hard hit for him, and he's done for the night. It looks like pretty hard hit for Claus Williams as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a case of a guy trying to be careful, Adam, and you know, I've talked about this before. You get at the back of these fields, and one little thing like that, you didn't do nothing wrong. You're checking up. You see a little bobble in front of you, check up. The guy behind you can't see what's going on. He hits you, your night's over.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we've said it time and time again, and I struggle with it sometimes in here, and not having the best qualifying lap, but that's a product of not having a good Q lap, you know. And we all have those times where we don't have the best qualifying laps. But we see some guys already playing a little bit of strategy, too, taking some gas.
Yeah, very interesting here, Adam. I mean, you think they're just topping up?
Yeah, a couple guys are. Some guys are fixing damage right now. But, you know, see, Baris, I mean, that's smart move on his part, in my opinion.
Well, I think he come in to check his damage, and by the looks of it, he didn't find any, Adam.
No, he was one of the ones I heard on the thing wanted to top off, which is very good.
All right, early carnage here. On a, you know, got 135 laps. These things will happen on starts on occasion. We'll get to racing here. Good news for Rachel Hunt, though. She managed to get back out here, so Rachel still in this thing. Not a lot can be gleaned from what we've seen so far, Adam. I mean, did you see anything you liked or didn't like in those couple of laps?
Yeah, I did. I saw some guys that were sticking to the bottom, but I think this is going to be a mixture of wines this race, for sure.
Well, it should be interesting. I mean, it's been a while since I've been on Old Texas, but I certainly remember some tricks. One of them was one of the biggest lessons I ever learned, Adam. Couldn't figure it out how I was getting smoked in 3 and 4, so I watched a gentleman who was beating me. Found out he was driving it about 30 car lengths further into the corner. I was really shocked by that and tried it, and I couldn't believe it worked.
Well, and turn one is also a very finicky uh, spot, which I love this layout way better than the new layout. You have to be on your money coming up off the corner in two. If you don't hit it just right, you're not going to get a good exit and have speed coming off the corner.
Yeah, well, that's another memory I didn't really want to talk about. One of my first races, Adam, I got the pole, got out there, came out of turn 2, and promptly wiped out and took out half the field. Not one of my best moments.
Yeah, we've all done that.
I don't know if everybody's done that or not, but that one only took me 2.5 years to get rid of the stigma that caused. Anyway, here we go. Let's go back racing. Leo will lead him down one more time.
Green, green, green.
Green drops. Leo with a great start. Ottoviani trying to inch up and get underneath the Bruce. I don't think he can get there.
No, he didn't go get there, but he had a good start and got by Thompson. And look, somebody else up front that normally isn't up there this early in the race, Tony Rattler.
Yeah, good to see Tony up here. Much better starting spot for him tonight. He's already picked up a couple. He's into 5th.
And the other guy that's been really hot here recent, Troy, is right there on his back bumper.
Yeah, Torgerson just on a good roll as of late. Right now, Leo to set the best lap of the race, about 2/10 faster than anybody else.
Yeah, you see Paul Case trying to make a move right here on Buckshot. Buckshot's been out with his wife. Hope she's doing better, and good to see him back on the track.
You see right now that low line just a little bit better. Paul K trying to work on Ripka.
It looked like it was just a little loose. You saw his car wiggle just a little bit down there on the bottom.
Well, I think he was bobbling off the apron at him. I'm not sure about that, but he might have got those tires just a hair too low. But there he does power by. So Ripka giving him up early, and I think that might be a smart play, Adam.
Yeah, because I think the pit cycle tonight is about 54-ish laps, possibly, depending on, how easy these guys drive these cars. But look at there, man. Right now, Tony is under fire from the blue flame, Troy Torgerson.
Troy Torgerson trying to keep it going. He'll be looking to move forward here. Tony, usually a little conservative in the early going, probably trying to hold them off without not burning up his stuff. Looks like Torgerson's got a nose on him here.
Being 9 laps in the event, man, he's really showing a little bit of muscle right now in the early goings.
Yeah, he's going to power on through. Paul K trying to follow him through. Can't quite get there. He's going to stay down there. Tony could have cut his nose, decided against it. He's going to let him go, Adam.
Yeah, now traditionally on the longer run, when the tires get really worn out and sloppy and loose, you'll see some guys getting loose on the exit of 4. And I think we'll be seeing a little bit of that tonight as we see the warden is saying hi to George Leal for first place.
Yeah, Mr. Mile and a half himself right up there, not letting Leo go away. Both these guys setting an absolutely torrid pace. Rick Thompson up to 3rd.
I learned some lessons from the warden and you here. If you draft with a guy here, you can really put some distance on the rest of the guys.
Yeah, it's a good deal to work with someone, especially for, the first 20 or 30 laps. Just get up here, no sense in really getting underneath them. Just ride with them. Try and get it to where you can settle it amongst yourselves, Adam.
They're definitely putting a gap on that 3rd place right now.
Yeah, they're running great time. Still sub 30 seconds for our 2 leaders. Everybody else over that mark. Rick Thompson looking strong. He just set his best lap of the race. Ottoviani 4th. Torgerson up 4 into 5th. Paul K right there, he's picked up a couple.
Yeah, Pork Chop's looking kind of sporty tonight with the Biff on top of his 88 Chevrolet, showing tribute to the old Biff.
Oh, we know Paul Travis Sr. here. He can get it done, Adam. He's kind of like, he's got to like the track, and I think this track suits him very well.
I think it does as well.
There's Ripka back in 7th, all alone. Tony Radliff. Remember, he's fallen now. He's only fallen one spot, believe it or not, as Spear goes around Jason Brantley. So it looked like Brantley might have got loose or something there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and Claus Williams had to come back in. I saw that his car got really out of control, and he's back in the pit road.
Yeah, that's a shame for Claus for sure. The Toad Man right up here, he's up 1 into 11th. He's already thinking about making moves on Jason Spear. Jason Jackson 12th, Tom Ashley 13th. Back up front, Bruce has gotten around our leader, so he is our new leader. And Rick Thompson has caught up as well, so Leal all of a sudden fading back a little bit. Let's go back and see how he got around him, Adam. There he is. He gets right up on that rear end, gets the inside position. I don't think there'll be much of a fight here. Well, Leal didn't really give it to him, but he got a little loose there on that middle groove, and around goes Bruce.
Yeah, I expect, the Warden to start clicking off some laps and see Thompson got around Leal as well.
Yeah, this is interesting because we know Leal's a KG vet. Is he just laying back at him? Is he saying to himself, you know what? It's too early to set this pace.
Yeah, I think it's too early to set this pace. I mean, we're only in lap 16, and I think, some other guys right now are complaining about a little bit of a loosey-goosey kind of feel to the car. I just heard a couple of them come over to Mike and just say, woo! So I think it might be a handful back there towards the middle of the pack.
All right, we'll see how they handle it. Right now, Ottoviani, Torgerson, and Travis, that's 4th, 5th, and 6th. They seem to be closing in a little bit here.
Yeah,
right there.
I like what I'm seeing out of those two guys. They're working together to try to claw their way back up to the front guys, and like you said, they are making some ground up.
Yeah, I believe they are. That time by Bruce slower with a 30.83. Leal about 2/10 faster, so he works some lap traffic, and Ottoviani also, along with Torgerson and Travis. Ripka, fastest man on the track last time by.
I know Ripka likes this track because, there's a certain style that Ripka likes to drive, and he does it at old Atlanta that we'll be running again this season. He's just got a way of just making his entry almost sweeping and then come back down, but he's rocking this high line to get around to the lap car right now.
Yeah, looking good here as he chases that Kylie glass machine of Paul Travis Sr.
One thing I noticed that we normally don't see out of Ripka, Buckshot's having to work that steering wheel a little bit tonight.
A little bit. Could be on purpose, Adam. Could be trying to just stabilize that car. Continuing to wiggle it a little bit. Little check there.
Yeah. He's trying to look like he's trying to help Pork Chop get back up there to Blue Flame, but now he's going to try to make the move, but it didn't stick coming off of 4.
Claus Williams with those repairs done, he just set the fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately for him, he's a lap down or more.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of luck on the side right now to get those laps back.
Yeah, I think he's 5 laps down on him. Holy cow. Rick Thompson has caught our leader, Daren Bruce.
Right now, he looks kind of sporty, man. He's just coming. He went through the front. He's gained 3 spots from the start. You know, he's just doing his thing. I'm looking at Tom Ashley too. I mean, Tom is having a phenomenal start to the night. Him and Jason Jackson rocking 11 and 12 right now.
Yeah, they're quietly behind Jason Spear back here. I think it's time to start moving if they want to move. We're looking at 45 lap runs, 2 of them, to make it to the end. Guys will do different variations of that as Ripka goes on by Paul Travis Sr. So put Ripka back up to 6 now.
Yeah, and we got, you know, one other guy back here in the back right now making his way on up into 16th place is Craig Martin. He's picked up 4 since the beginning of the race.
A good look at that 75 machine. Good to see Craig doing good out here. He likes Julio's, I think, there. Adam?
I think so.
You been down to Julio's?
No, I haven't.
I got jokes at him, but I'm going to save them for now. Rick Thompson sideways through the corner. Holy cow, Adam, that wasn't a good look. Completely sideways was the 76. I mean, that right rear is getting baked off of that thing.
Well, it's not just that. It's the little bit of aero that we're dealing with on every vehicle on iracing right now with this wonderful update that they have done. If you put a little bit of air on somebody, you can certainly make that guy in front have a very difficult day.
You can, and I mean, I think what it leads to, Adam, and you know, I was thinking about this today as he watched Leal work his way by Thompson here. So Leal's on the move again, going back towards the front. But what it's going to lead to is guys trying to get right up on the rear of people because you can get a guy loose now. And it's going to lead to some crashes on entry, I believe.
Well, entry and center. I had the pleasure of running at Homestead Friday night, and needless to say, with this new wear build, it was a handful.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Tony Ratliff, Jason Jackson here. That's 8th and 9th right now. Their times almost up to our leader's pace. So getting to the back half of this run here, we'll see if this group starts to move. Out front, the Warden, Daren Bruce, trying to hold off George Leal. So he got out to a lead here. We know how good Clean Air is, but we also know how good the Warden is on these 1.5 miles, Adam.
We sure do, but you know, one car that I keep looking at and I see -10 on the board right now. What in the world is going on with Big Possum? Possum is struggling, it looks like, a little bit.
Yeah, not feeling it here tonight. Big Possum up on the high side, letting Rachel Hunt go by right now. So he's trying to find it. Several cars back here trying to find their footings. There's a look at Fleming. He's got that 16 up on the hood there. That's always good to see.
The one that came to pit road, and I'm kind of wondering what's going on with him, is our point leader. He stopped making any ground up, really, not till just right then. I mean, he's not... I thought he would make his way back through the field from when he took the gas, but looks like he's struggling right now.
Well, you know what I would say, Adam, is you remember now, he had that one race where, you know, he started at the back, he had no practice, so he took it easy, and he kind of learned something, right? He learned, hey, you know, I can just kind of save and I'll run them down later. Well, unfortunately for him, a new build happened immediately, and now I don't believe you can run them down like that anymore.
Absolutely not. We learned that the hard way twice this past week. That's one thing that I am not a fan of on this build, and I think there's other guys that it just is not suiting the driving style, but you can see and hear in his gas, it's almost like his car is ridiculous tight right now.
Yeah, and I think they're all tight. I think the looseness is a facade, Adam. I think we got the old tight loose condition, push loose, if you will.
Well, but I think it's coming off and like with the 2 liters, that particular driving style that you have to do, drive in deep, let off, let it roll. I bet you if we went on with our leader right now, you were hearing him drive in, and you hear him, he's out the gas. He's letting it ease into it, ease into
Now,
it.
now talk about that. Daren does something different than most. He didn't just ease into it, Adam. He hits that throttle multiple times. Why does he do that?
It's to help keep the car on the bottom, and you can hear him popping that gas instantly. And he's just getting that to keep the momentum, keep it on the bottom of the track, and to keep the speed coming up off the corner. And I'm sure if we also went into the second place car, we'll hear that Leal is doing that too.
Here is Leo, very similar sound as we transition. And, you know, and I would say this is the art of steering the car with the pedals. Something you'll hear about, and if you're new, you might not understand how to do it. But between the gas and the brake pedal, you should be able to steer that machine without steering the wheel. That'll save your tires.
Well, one thing you see, and I like what I'm seeing of the Leal right here. He's trying a little bit different line in 3 and 4, not in 1 and 2. But you see how they keep it glued to the bottom by doing that tapping of the gas. Watch what he does in this corner. And Eric Whiting's on pit road right now, Dean.
Yeah, it's a little bit different as Whiting comes in. I want to point out something. Adam, I made a video once about Texas and how to drive it. It's one of my how-to videos back in the day. And watch here in one. Down on the bottom, there's a little crack seam that pops up. If he gets around it, right about here, there it is. I don't know if you people can see it, but it kind of juts out from the white line and back to it. That was always my throttle point. I tried to coach that to people, and nobody listened, Adam.
As they sometimes don't do, but I listened and I definitely changed my style. And, I had to show the master a thing or two that I had learned since then. But it's always good to learn and adapt. And, somebody we're missing from the field tonight is the chameleon, as we're watching right now. Jackson is coming to the front, and he's bringing Mr. Ashley with him.
Yeah, it looks like Paul Travis fading a little bit here.
Wonder if we got the fan club from Batman out there in the audience tonight.
He's always ready. He's always lurking at him. You just got to turn on the light.
Yeah, we're starting to see some comers and goers now since we're 37 laps in. I expect the pit stops in less than 20 laps right now.
Let's go over some. Oh, George Leal taking over the lead here. Battle for the lead. So Leal let Bruce go. Now he's back out front. Cagey veteran move. He let a couple of cars go at him. He knew he was running too fast. He didn't want to do it, and he gave up the lead only to regain it now.
Well, he did that, and he learned something at the same time, because you see he's doing that higher line, and that is kind of messing with Bruce here at the second. But
well, he's dumping the air on exit.
Watch if he does it again here in 3 and 4. Yeah, he's running that funky line in 3 and 4. He's definitely picked up on something.
And Bruce trying to follow him up there. He'll have to work on it. What I noticed in 1 and 2, he was a little higher, and at the last part of the corner, he cuts down and dumps that air on Daren Bruce. It makes Daren's exit very difficult. A little bit of separation now, not much to see there. Ottoviani, he was kind of up and down, much like Leal there in the early stages. He's starting to assert himself, Adam.
Yeah, and, I expect big things out of Otto and whatnot coming. I mean, he's been on fire here recently. Got him a win, which was amazing. He did a phenomenal job last week. But, this whole group right now with SMS, they're really clicking on all cylinders. And it's showing, because right now, out of the top 5, they got 3 of the spots. But I see, you mentioned last week about listening to his mentors, and he's adapting very, very well. And that one guy right there, he's starting to come back.
Buckshot Ripke, yeah, he is back to 6th. I'm going to look a little further back. Paul Travis still hemorrhaging, and we got a log jam here, Adam. Brad Collins, Craig Martin, Fleming's in there. Here comes Spear and Baris. So Paul Travis in a world of hurt here right now.
Yeah, that's a gaggle right there of cars. But, you know, one thing that we've been seeing, and now Maurice is getting back in the picture, he's climbing back up the chart. But I like what I'm seeing out of Jason. Jason took his time, and now those guys are coming back to Jason and Maurice.
Well, the thing is, so we talked about it, and we said, well, you can't really do that. Of course you can do it to some degree, but look at the lap count, Adam. We're almost to we're almost to the pit stops now. So, you know, you're going to pick up a few maybe, but you know, he can't even get back to the top 10 the way he used to be able to. So Nick doing a nice job picking up spots, up 5 right now. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to hold the points lead, though. Up front, Leal walking away from Bruce. Almost up a second now. Bruce in second, Ottoviani in third. The times, Leal's about a tenth faster at least than both second and third. Torgerson fourth. Rick Thompson's held on nice after he went out hard. And Ripke's starting to make progress. Jackson 7th, Tom Ashley up to 8th. The gunslinger, Tony Ratliff, in 9th. And the Toad Man, Todd Gilly, they're in 10th. And I just seen someone is off track. It's Lester going through the grass, through pit road. Hang on to her, Tom.
Man, that's 2 weeks in a row for old Tom. Fred Tom is having a tough time handling this new tire wear thing.
He just wants that sponsorship, Adam.
That's his family race car that's on this car right there, which is a beautiful paint scheme if you hadn't had the pleasure of seeing it. It's the Lester Brothers Hot Rod guy made that for him, and that is actually the colors of the drag car.
And he's coming in, Adam, trying to hang, and that's gonna be a penalty, Adam.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have a speeding penalty from that one.
So
but
he
probably had
things.
Yeah, if I looked on there correct, he had, from when he got loose, it gave him a penalty anyways.
Rick Thompson comes in, and that's going to be speeding, Adam.
Yeah, that's going to be speeding too.
I mean, wow, pit road acting tough here tonight. Collins
coming in, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
this
we
is
see some.
So this is old. This is old Texas, Adam. Is that what's catching these guys?
Well, remember with the updates, everybody is changed with the cone is in a different spot, and that's why it's catching the guys coming in right now.
Here comes Tony Ratliff trying to woe it down, and oh boy. Oh, behind him, Fleming flying in. That'll be speeding. So we've seen a lot of speeding, Adam. I mean, I'm not sure these are penalties, folks, but just by my eye, that looks pretty quick.
Yeah, it looked like it was way over the speed limit in my opinion, but who knows? We'll see here in just a few seconds.
Fred Thompson coming in. There's the Toad Man. He looks like he got it woed down. So we expect our leaders. Who do you expect in first, Adam?
If I was a betting man, I would say it's probably even going to be Daren or Troy right now.
I'm going on board with Troy. That's my guess. I'm looking for him to come in. He is not.
Yeah, these guys are really, in some of the tire wear that I'm hearing right now, man, that right front is getting killed.
There's our leader, George Leal, lap 49 of 135. Rachel Hunt coming in, and she's got a woe down. Boy, she would crawl in there for a second, but she's in safely.
Oh, we got a pop tire, Travis. Right there.
Paul Travis has popped a tire, so Paul Travis, and now we know why he's slow.
Oh, Daren Brooks is in. We called it, folks.
Oh, boy. That looks like a speeding penalty, folks. So many people getting caught here on pit road. Nothing official yet.
Man, that was a lot of tire smoke.
What in tarnation is happening? Paul Travis coming in with a flat tire. Here comes Leal, and he's coming in. He'll try and get it woed down. And you can see the struggles. He does, though. Torgerson behind him. And here comes Jackson a little hot.
Ooh,
He'll
Jackson
get it slowed
came
down.
in hot.
I think they all got
Yeah.
it slowed down, though.
I got a lot of woos going on tonight.
Just from seeing
Doing
them,
my Ric
Adam,
Flair.
I think it's safe to say the other guys we've seen, definitely speeding.
Yeah, we did have quite a few Buford T justices out there, folks. You got to get that car woed down coming on the pit road. But, you know, for some of the other guys, they got to take advantage of these speeding tickets. Right now we see one of Mr. Ashley coming in the pit road and looked like he got on pretty good.
And Bruce is on. You know what? It looks like Bruce did not get a penalty. So some of these guys did not get penalties, Adam.
That is absolutely outstanding jobs getting on the pit road like that.
I mean, you know, like I said, from the eye it looks fast, but maybe they were all safe. Here comes Ottoviani. That looks pretty clean there. So the lead will shift to Lance. Buckshot Ripka, he's out front. Spear and Brantley, the other cars on the track still. We bring up our pit board and you can see it looks like only 4 people out on the track still.
Yeah, I think these guys will probably be fitting here very, very shortly.
Well, Ripka was trying there. He cut down in front of Leal to try and go to pit road, I think. But he was unable to get down there because of the cars coming, and this is the danger when you're staying out. Cars coming underneath you. So we're going to go on board here, Adam, with Lance Ripka. I expect him to come in.
Yeah, that's going to kill. That's really going to hurt him, you know, as far as trying to get back time, because we've seen this out the last 3 RGR races that short pit is the way to go. You don't want to stay out too long. Brantley's in as well.
You see Buckshot manhandling that thing onto pit road safely. Looked pretty good. Here's Spear coming in. A little wobbly, but he'll get her in there. All right, interesting. This is going to hand over the lead now to Rick Thompson. There he is. So through the pit cycle, let's see when he came in. On lap 45, so 5 laps ahead of Leal he came in. Leal already right there on his rear. Bruce, 1 lap older tires than George Leal, chasing him. Torgerson, he is on the same lap as Leal, and he's in 4th. So some interesting pit sequences there. Looks like to me like Fleming probably did get a penalty. Hard to say. I think he did. I think Claus Williams got a penalty. But other than that, I think most of those guys made it that we thought were speeding at him.
Yeah, he definitely did. They were definitely pushing the envelope for sure on these pin entries tonight.
Well, that's what happens when you get a league full of guys who are all pushing it. You got to get better and better at it. You see Brantley, he's in right now. So Brantley's night just not going well. Right now, George Leal in control. Rick Thompson leading, but Leal with those fresher tires starting to run him down. He's bringing the Warden with him here, and you can see the lines these guys are running are changing at him.
Yeah, they are definitely changing up because of this heat in the track, but I just see a couple other guys that man, look at this. I mean, the Toad Man, 7. He's in position number 7 right now, having a phenomenal night. Jason Jackson still making his way up. Brad Collins, 9th position right now, having a phenomenal night. And Breesy is still clicking through the field.
Yeah, Nick Burris back here in 11th, up 8 spots. Let's check his pit status. back on 51, so he's got some good tires. So he had a heck of a pit stop too, Adam.
He did. He had a really good pit stop.
All right, so Brees doing what champions do, and dispelling the mist coming from the booth up here, and he's moving on up. Right now, Rick Thompson trying to hold on to the lead. Here it comes, Leo and Bruce.
Yeah, they're coming on up through the field really, really, really quickly on these guys. They're already catching lap traffic, Dean, right now. There's one lap car right there in front of them.
They are, but what you can tell here is that dirty air is really hurting these two cars. They should be able to make this look easy, but they're really not, Adam.
Well, you remember we discussed this on, my mishap from Tuesday night. We couldn't make any time up on Ratliff. And this is one of the things that I noticed. The air in the tires the tire model is just throwing everything off the sequence. But right now, see Daren trying to get his headlight on that cleaner air just to get it to rotate. And he has closed the gap some, but he's still struggling a little bit.
A little bit. There's Torgerson in fourth. Ottoviani fifth. Jackson, he is up 8 now into 6th. Tony Ratliff, that 7th place starting position, that's where he remains. He's got the Toad Man right there on his tail. Brad Collins and Lance Ripka, one of the last guys to pit. He's currently in 10th, thinking, why am I not making up more time?
Yeah, Lance is right now just not able to close the gap like I predicted, after seeing everything we have over the last 3-4 races. He's in that mindset where, hey, I can stay out late and gather it up, and you can't do that no more.
How about the Toad Man? He goes by Tony Ratliff, so put him up to 7th. The Toad Man feeling it here tonight. Out front, Leo and Bruce still going at it. Adam, I've heard some stories about your interactions with Mr. Greg Biffle. How about you tell the crowd a little bit about some stories about Greg?
I don't know if they want to hear the Martinsville story.
Sure. There's no wrong stories here.
Well, we were in Martinsville, and my man Jimmy Johnson had dominated, and Biffle had made a comment down there in the pits. So me and my brother and one other individual, Mr. White, started screaming, Greg Biffle, you suck. You're never going to win again. And it was actually on the Speed TV broadcast. And he, after the race, you get to meet all the drivers coming out from the racetrack, from the walking tunnel to get on the golf cart. And later on, we got to, say some more things to him, and of course it got Greg stirred up, and he kind of said some choice words in not such a good manner, but it was really funny because later on I got to meet Greg at a Ford driving school and at another event, and he actually remembered myself and my brother doing that to him, and he said, guess what, I got to win again in a Bush truck. And he was really, really cool, super guy. I hate that their family, is all gone from this plane crash, but I mean, he really showed the character of what kind of a driver and man he was when he had to joke with us, and I'll cherish that for many years to come.
Yeah, great story. For myself, I don't know a lot. I'm not down there. I haven't met these guys, but I do remember recently watching him with Cletus McFarland there in some of those videos. And I got to tell you, I really liked the guy. I thought, damn, I had no idea he had this much personality and that he was kind of a good, fun guy. I mean, that's just one man's perspective who doesn't know him, but I liked him, man, and I'm really sad to see him go.
Yeah, I got one other story I'll tell you real quick. Me being a Mustang lover and a Ford guy on that end, I got to meet him at the Ford driving school, and Kurt Busch was there too. And, he took the time to talk to us individually, and he had remembered me from this, that you know getting to know him from the situation from Martinsville. And I'll tell you, he broke it down, took the time with us to tell us about how to drive the Roval, and was extremely detailed and a very, very great coachable um, coach. I mean, he just taught us what we needed to do to get the speed out of the Mustang. And the ride along is probably one of the best things I've ever got to do. He took us out in a E250 van around the track, and it was a heck of a ride.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, Thompson loose off the corner, trying to fend off Torgerson. Torgerson takes third away from him.
Yeah, Troy is clicking off some good laps right now, but one other guy that I keep paying attention to is Ottoviani and Jackson, man. Jackson is putting it together tonight. He's been struggling a little bit here recently, but it's good to see Jackson clicking off, and that's what made him the champion in one of the series last year, the Gen 6. He just consistent good finishes, and he's showing that he might be back to form tonight.
Yeah, let's ride along here and just have a look at what we can see from him. I like he's sticking right to the bottom, Adam.
He is sticking to the bottom, but something that I've been watching very, very carefully. Look where Nick Reese is.
Yeah,
he has
Reese
hauled his way all the way up to 9th place.
Well, I think he learned a little bit from the first run, Adam. He's gone much harder this run. Let's go on board with Breeze, who's hunting the Toad Man right now. And, I think he's gone a little harder here. Now, maybe not much, but enough. And he finds himself in 9th, up 10 spots. He's our big mover on the night.
Yeah, he's a big mover tonight, but, I got to give some love to Fred Thompson, too. Fred Thompson's up 5 spots tonight, Dean, in the number 80 car.
How
That
about
is
that?
the father of Mr. Rick Thompson. He's doing a wonderful job. He's making his way on through the field. It's good to see him out here tonight.
It is. It's always nice to see Fred out here, and he's having a nice little run here tonight. You can see here, I think he's letting someone by. Maybe he's not. I'm not sure what that angle was about then. But nonetheless, he's doing pretty good. Right now, it looks like Troy Torgerson trying to take third away from Rick Thompson, or vice versa. I'm not sure who's making the pass here.
And the Blue Flame is trying to come on through, but he's, like you said, that air, man, is just playing so much havoc on these cars tonight. But look who's creeping up in that picture, man. Ottoviani keeps digging away.
Yeah, he's coming. He's so solid. If I had to pick someone that he reminds me of, it would be Jason Jackson. Very similar, very methodical, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, Adam. And Claus Williams is back in.
Yeah, Claus just hadn't had the run that he wanted to have tonight. But, giving some other guys some love, coming off a really good finish last week. Corey Burschwood, top 15 right now. He's doing real good tonight. Another guy that's been doing good tonight, and he kind of had a heartache last week. He had to start from pit road from the beginning of the race at the Rock. Herb Ashley, he's starting to show that he's moved through the field. He's up 4 spots himself, and that car was making me hungry.
I was going to say, this is about food, isn't it? We got smoke somewhere.
Yes, man. I had another one. I had a different sandwich from Whataburger, and I could really go for a honey chicken biscuit right now from there.
I've seen some smoke. No accident to be seen. Not sure what I was witnessing. There's Bruce. So Bruce has lost Leal, Adam. Leal is now the 2.3 second lead.
Yeah, we had one car spinning out on the front stretch, and we missed it. I didn't get to catch who that was spinning.
Yeah, not really seeing any incidents or anything like that. But here we go. Torgerson, he's in 4th. He just lost 3rd to Ottoviani. But he did get around Thompson, I believe.
It was Eric Whiting, Dean, that was bouncing off the wall on the front straightaway.
And he's got a blown engine or something. That thing is smoking a little bit. Looks like that's going to be a retirement, perhaps, for the 13 machine. George Leal, your leader here on lap 79 and 135 in the Alive Church Xfinity Series. Live fully alive. Of course, still thinking about you, Mr. Mike Brown out here, a great sponsor, and hoping all is well for your holiday season. I'm sure it is, as you see some cars coming in. That looked like Tom Lester. It was. Oh, and Bruce through the grass. Daren Bruce going through the grass, trying to hang on to it. I'm not sure. He must have broke loose off of 4. I don't think he was looking to pit that early. And he's going to fade all the way to 7th place. Let's get a replay and see what happened. Here comes Bruce. He's got a lap car. That is Thompson down there. Oh, and he breaks loose on the high side. It's a great job of not getting on pit road. That'd be a penalty. Drive through the grass, keeping control of it. Got to be careful here. She'll break loose again. And he was careful. Great job of saving a race, but the race for the win is over.
That rapid replay was awesome, Dean. But, you know, one thing I don't know if our cameraman can get an angle at. See if we can get an angle at the track level, because when you went back to that one corner, it looks like right where Daren was, it is a stunningly amount of rubber buildup right now. You see right there in the top, the middle groove, you can see that the marbles are all over the racetrack right now.
Yeah, the groove is widening out, Adam, because the guys are running all over the place. It's going to affect the car adversely. You know where the safest place to be is? On the bottom, Adam.
Yeah, you can really, that camera angle is awesome. You can see how dark the lines are getting right now. Especially like right here, you can see all the way through the corner where the actual groove is right now. It's phenomenal.
Lots of wear on the track. We were on board with George Leal, your leader. Now, because of Bruce's little problem, he has a 5.5 second lead over Michael Ottoviani. Torgerson moves up to 3rd. Thompson right there in 4th. Then it's Jason Jackson, now up 9 into 5th. And Lance Ripka, who's been solid all night, Adam, he is now in 6th.
Yeah, he's starting to run down Jackson right now, and it looks like he's going to overtake him right now here in 1 and 2. And yes, he does. He gets on by. But, you know, like I said, we still got some movers and shakers, and I got to call out this car. Craig Martin right now is in 11th place. He is moving on up through the field.
There's a look at Craig Martin. I'd like to get a closer look at that Julio's there to see what we're dealing with.
Toadman coming into pit road.
There he is, safely on is Todd the Toadman Gilly here on lap 85. So this is the undercut, Adam. This is the interesting thing. We talked about this before. The end of the run, the tire is not that important compared to what it was before. Does the undercut work here for the Toadman?
Seeing how he has been through the field tonight, I think it may pay off for him. Because you see how hard it is to make time up on these guys because of the aero situation that we're dealing with tonight.
There's a look at Nick Burries, your points leader. He's moved up to 8th, up 11 spots. And next up for him is Daren Bruce, and I got to tell you, I seen Daren break loose a second time. That car is still angry.
It is very angry, and you know, you practice and preach this to a lot of guys. What is your saying, Dean? You get that right rear hot, you're Dunsky.
Yeah, well, I basically tell people you can't break loose, not even once. That is your goal. Never break loose because it's so hard to recover from. The tires get angry, man.
They certainly do. And seeing that pit stop, it looked like Toad may have had a little problem getting out of pit road. He had a really interesting pit stop. He got on good, but it looks like he had a little bit of trouble the next lap. But right now, Herb Ashley up 5. Corey Buswick still continuing to go through the field up to 14th place. We see that Spear falling back a little bit. Brad Collins still in 12th. Got Martin still up. He's at 11. Tom Ashley, good run for him, running in 10th place tonight.
There's a look at Tom, up 6 spots, having a nice run. We've pretty much come accustomed to Tom. You know, it used to be, Tom would be good at one, then Herb would be good at one. Well, Tom's kind of taking it over right now. You know, around that Christmas table, I think Tom's going to be feeling pretty strong this year.
Yeah, I think that Christmas table talk, I think he's going to have a little bit of an advantage at the Christmas table.
Hey,
talk.
what do you think that means, Adam? Like he holds the gravy bowl and he doesn't give any to Herb?
It's possible, or he could be holding out the Whataburger fries.
So
I think I'm going to have to go get me a chicken biscuit tonight.
George Leal absolutely dominating. 5-second lead. Ottoviani's knocked a little time off that lead, so he's trying to battle back. Thompson is coming in. Thompson looks like he's in safely. So look at Corey Busker.
I'm actually surprised that more people haven't taken the undercut. Yep, got one more coming in.
Well, this is scheduled stops now, Adam. I mean, 45, 90, those are your scheduled stops. So these guys, with that caution on like lap 2, these are scheduled stops at this point. Anybody wants to go long, you're going to be looking at about a lap 100 or so.
You didn't say Hondo. You got to say Hondo, one Hondo.
Is that right? Is that what would that make me, Adam?
100.
Well, what ethnicity? What is where does Hondo come from?
Oh, that's American. You know, but we got to get our tariff money from Canada. We need some Hondos.
Yeah, you guys can take your tariff money. I need some damn tariff money. Daren Bruce on pit road.
Man, I don't know how he does that. It's a work of art to watch him and Leal and a couple other guys. They just get on pit road so darn good, it's not even funny.
Yeah, well, even, I like to teach or whatever, but I like to learn too, Adam. And I think, watching all these broadcasts, if it's taught me one thing is stop cutting the entrances off, right? Enter in the appropriate spot where it's designed to be. You'll be much faster.
They definitely will be much faster, but man, I'm watching his pace. There's Big Smile. We really hadn't talked much about her tonight.
No,
She's
quite.
come into pit road.
She pitted from 17th, or she's in 17th right now. Decent run considering she started on pit road. Paul Travis still struggling. Ottoviani's on pit road, so Otto comes in from 2nd place. We'll expect George Leal to come in and cover him off.
I think him and I heard that 75 is coming in. Tom Ashley's coming in. Yeah, several guys coming in for pit stops right now.
There's Leal stuck behind traffic, and he'll come in. He'll get it woed down. The 99 of Corey Busker comes in. Craig Martin and Tom Ashley already on pit road. Leal right there. There is Torgerson. He takes over the lead. You seen Ottoviani coming off of pit road. Jackson's in. Tony Ratliff in.
Yeah, the other Thompson's coming in. I would imagine Troy would be pitting here very soon, not to let these guys get too much of a run on.
Well, I think he's got to try something different. I think that's what he's going to do here, Adam. I expect him to stay out for about 2 or 3 more laps, but I wouldn't bet on it. Nick Burris will come in from third place, so he stayed out a little bit there. Spears in as well. Thompson and Ripka still out there.
Leo had a great stop, and so did Otto. But Thompson split the difference. Thompson got ahead of Otto on that last pit stop. Here comes Blue Flame.
So him and Ripka come in. Look like Ripka a little more stable behind him. That'll hand the lead back over to George Leal. George Leal momentarily will be coming by. There he is. So Rick Thompson has closed the gap now to 2 seconds. He did pit 5 laps earlier. Ottoviani, he was 1 lap before Leal, and he come out about 3.5 seconds behind Leal. So he made up a little bit of time. Herb Ashley up 18 into 4th, but he still has to pit. Getting himself a little air time here and a little mouth-watering time for my cohort here, the Bulldog.
Yeah, I think I've got to go get me a honeyed chicken biscuit. It's driving me crazy right now thinking about it.
And here he comes onto pit road, nice and safely in.
Good recovery, though.
So look at Jason Jackson. He's up 8 spots. How about right in front of him, or a ways in front of him, the Toad Man. Up 7 on the night, Adam, into the top 5. The 19 looking strong here.
That was a good move by him for pitting so early, but let's see if he can keep it up. I mean, he does have, let's see, what about 9 lap older tires than some of the guys in front of him, 4 laps. Let's see how that holds up.
Craig Martin just set the fastest lap of the race. So the Julio's machine is cooking right now.
It's cooking with some oil, baby.
Nick Burris just set his best lap of the race. So he's coming out of pit road and putting it down. He's up to 9th.
Yeah, Claus Williams back on pit road. That car just doesn't seem to be quite fixed. I think it takes him a little bit of used to, driving the car with so much power since it's a Ford.
Jason Jackson just set his best lap of the race, so the guys are turning the wick up. Tony Ratliff, best lap to his race. Good battle brewing here for 9th spot. Tony Ratliff trying to hold off Craig Martin.
Yeah, the gunslinger's trying to make a little bit of noise. He lost 3 positions from the start of the race, but he just hasn't found his, complete niche from where he normally does tonight.
You've been missing out on all the chat over in YouTube. Sorry, guys. Glad to see you're all out there, and I hope you're enjoying this race here tonight.
Yeah, there's lots of people talking on there tonight. That's good to see, Dean.
Always great to see the interactions. Fred Thompson on to pit road.
Did you happen to see if the bat signal worked?
Not see the bat signal being operated. George Leal right now got a 2-second lead over Rick Thompson. Ottoviani still about 2.8 back, trying to run him down. Daren Bruce somehow has worked his way back to 4th place. I'm assuming he pitted early. Let's take a look at it. 92, so not really. I mean, a little bit earlier than the guys behind him, but Bruce somehow made up 3 or 4 positions through that cycle.
Yeah, he's been clicking off some good lap times. I've been watching. He's been running 30-30s, 30-20s, and the leader's running 30-52s. Thompson's running 74s. Ottoviani is one guy that is cooking. He's running in the 20s right now. He's running some really, really smoking lap times. And right now we're seeing the effect of those older tires is kind of caught up with the Toad Man, but still, all in all, a phenomenal night for him as far as picking up positions.
Oh, yeah, and and he's one of us, Adam. I don't want to put it on him, but us older guys, we don't do as good in those last 30 laps either.
No, bathroom breaks, whole 9 yards. One guy that we really haven't seen much of tonight, and normally he's pretty smoking fast, is Shane Fleming. Where have you been at tonight, my man?
Right
We
now,
have
he's on
not
pit
seen very
road.
much of you. Yeah, it looks like he's got some damage on that car, and uh, doesn't seem to be suiting him too much. Claus Williams is in again.
Yeah, Claw's back on. Let's look at Jason Spear. Not his night either. So we talk a lot about this, Adam. This new build. It's going to hurt some. It's going to help some. There'll be some that doesn't really affect too much, but other guys are really going to be affected. And the key to iRacing is to get on these builds early. Get out there, learn the ins and outs of it. I mean, you're great at that, Adam. You were out there testing early and trying to learn what it was doing, and you got to adapt and overcome, don't you?
That and throw stuff at your screen when the things ain't going your way.
Does that help?
It does. And I've had to do it a couple times. And, like I said, um, some guys have picked it up quicker than others. And right now we see one of those guys just got around Thompson. But Thompson's still having a really, really good night. Um, I mean, played the strategy, did a short fit, hanging on the third right now. He does have the Wharton trying to catch up to him. One guy that's got fresh tires. I'll be really interested to see how far Troy and the Doral Lawrence painted up blue flame machine can go through the field.
Here is Torgerson. And I want to watch down in one to my famous little spot to see. Looked to me like Thompson was getting in the throttle a hair early at him. That might burn off that right front. Let's see what Torgerson does. He's riding a little higher line. Hard to tell there compared to what I like to do, but he looked pretty solid.
Looked solid, but it also still looked a little tight too. The Blue
It
Angels
does.
paint scheme just looks a little bit tight right now as we see the Biffle car come on by him of Claus Williams. He's just not been able to get back. He did pick up some position. He did, due to some other people's misfortune. We see Jason Brantley's in pit road right now as well.
Now we go back to thinking about Greg Biffle, as we look at this car, Adam, I mean, he's down there close to you, is he not? Or was? I mean, my bad.
His place was in between Statesville and Charlotte. He has a shop that's 10 miles outside of there, and but if you're in the racing community, you're going to find someone that knows someone that knows someone. That's just how the racing community is. It's a really cool but tight knit community, and I've not been to his shop, but I did. Like I said, I met him in a couple other places, and a lot of the race car drivers live in that area, in between Huntersville and Charlotte, and some live up there towards like Lexington, near where RCR headquarters is, and a lot of folks, a lot of good people around that area.
Absolutely. And we mimic it here on iRacing and RGR Racing. Great community. They actually hook up, and what's missing, Adam, is the Bulldog, eh? When's the Bulldog going to make an appearance?
Depends on my boss. My boss has got to let me get a race off to go out here and try out the Xfinity Hot Rod. But
No, I mean an appearance at the meetups at the tracks, the real life meetups.
Well, my boss has to give me a pay raise.
Yeah. It's in the mail.
It's in the mail. Yeah, no, I would like to. Darlington, it'd be a hard one for me to make. due to family issues and people being sick, I wasn't able to get to Charlotte. But maybe if they came up here to Martinsville race, I might be able to make something like that happen.
Torgerson gets by Bruce. That battle was for fourth. So the Blue Flame moving on up back into fourth. He was a little late on the pit stop, Adam. It seems to me like he's going to end up about where he started. 20 laps to go. Your leader, George Leal, about 2.5 seconds over Ottoviani. I think he's opening it up at this point. Rick Thompson 4 more seconds back. Then Torgerson a couple more. Then it's Bruce, who's about to be hounded by Jackson and Ripka. We go on board with Lance Ripka here.
Uh-oh, we got a blinker. But listen to how he's working that gas right now. That car is just not liking that air right now.
Solid run here, nowhere to go, dangerous times.
Danger Ranger.
You look here, we'll see if he can wind it up and get him on exit here. A little slow to the throttle that time. He'll have to wait another lap or two.
Yeah, the Toyota just seems like it is just trying to find that little bit of air to get where he can get that run right there to get beside him. And, even with this particular car still not, not changing the air part he can pull him back if he gets up beside him.
And that's the thing, Adam. This air has changed the way you got to do it. I'd like to see Lance get out of his footprint. He is riding right in the footprint of Jason Jackson.
Well, we need to check and see what's going on with Otto right now.
Well, there is Ottoviani. Is there a problem with Michael Ottoviani?
I heard one of them. I think Otto may have had a hard time getting around somebody a minute ago, but needless to say, I won't repeat those words. But
are you hearing voices over there, Adam?
Yeah, I'm hearing voices. They're talking to my head, Dean. I can't get them out.
And there goes Torgerson making the pass on Rick Thompson, so put him back to third. Torgerson, the fastest man on the track right now. He might be too far behind to catch up to our leaders, though. Leal still has approaching 3-second lead on Michael Ottoviani.
Fastest angel in the South.
There's Bruce. Here comes Ripka. Ripka did get by Jackson. He's set his sights now and trying to get by Daren Bruce.
Yeah, Maurice still clicking up. He's popped from 11th up to 8th right now. So he's making the best of a not so drivable track for him. I think that's how you get
we talk about it all the time. Poor qualifying, Adam. 19th place in qualifying, but he's made the best out of it. This is what champions do, right? They make what is it, chicken salad out of something? I don't even remember.
Oh gosh, I need a lamp like that for the broadcast. You mean lemons out of lemonade?
Well, it's like that, yeah, but there's another one. I don't remember. I'm getting old, Adam. And my Lions lost today. It's throwing me all out of whack.
Oh, man.
Jared Goff trying to dive in the end zone. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Great day. I think you got to get a new football team. They fell apart from last year.
Well, if you're going to tell me that, you should have told me that 45 years ago, all right?
Yeah, Otto's still hanging tough right now in second. Troy is up to third. Thompson fourth. Daren Bruce fifth. Lance sixth. Jackson seventh. Maurice eighth. Ratliff ninth, and Craig Martin doing a phenomenal job in 10th place tonight. Toad Man still hanging on 11th, and Tom Ashley still in. He's still rocking a really good race tonight. He's in 12th place.
Go on board here with Michael Ottoviani. I just wanted to see how he looks, and he looks the way you'd expect him to look at him. Calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, I don't know if Batman's helping them this week, but I know my bat signal has failed, and I know he helped them last week, but yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job getting that car down there on that white line, and a little bit squiggly coming off the corner, but he's having a good run tonight for sure.
Yeah, for me, it's near perfect, Adam. I don't want to nitpick. I would say he might be on the throttle a hair early. That's why he's getting a little bit loose like that. But it's a fine line, and I'm not in the car. George Leal's in the car, though. He's out here. He's opening it up to 3 seconds. What a night for him with 9 laps remaining. Ottoviani, Torgerson, Bruce now under heat from Rick Thompson, or he's going around Rick Thompson, I think, with Lance Ripka right there. Jason Jackson closing in. Things are heating up right here.
And we got a 4-car battle right now for that top 5 spot.
So Bruce desperate to get by, and it looked like Thompson caught the wall a little bit. That'll bring him through. Ripka comes through. Jackson joins the fray. So Thompson hemorrhages 3 spots in 1 corner.
Yeah, but Daren's got to be careful because right now he's on the chopping block with Buckshot right behind him.
Yeah, Buckshot's got the car. I think he's going to go right now. Both him and Jackson going to come through and go by Bruce as well. So that
I just don't think the car is to Bruce's liking right now.
Well, he came in early, Adam, trying to make up for that pass through the grass, and it's just not enough anymore for that car to hang on. He's going to fight with Thompson, though. Thompson's got to hate that, but Bruce thinks he can get him, and he probably can, so he's going to fight with him.
Ooh, right there, did you see that Ripka got a little loose, and he tank slapped the wall going into turn 3 right there?
No, I missed that.
Yes, he did, and it is definitely looked like it is slowing his car down because Jackson just clawed his way back into it. But yeah, Ripka got really, really loose on that back straightaway.
Good job by all these. Couple of surprises here tonight. Craig Martin, I would say, I'd call that a surprise. He's up 11 into 9th. What a run for him. On the other end of it, I'm a little surprised that Jason Spear didn't have a better night. He's in 13th. And Paul Travis, he looked good early at him, but he really burned those tires up, and it's paid. It hasn't played well for him. He's down in 15th right now.
Well, but you know, looking at Corey Burschwick, still having a good week. Herb Ashley, solid night for him, up 5, 17th place. The people that I'm kind of surprised about, one of them being Shane, the other one being Jason, and Claus Williams. I just a little shocked at how they ran tonight, but you know, Claus got in that wreck and just not been able to recover.
And the Toad Man's going by Nick Burris. So Burris hemorrhages a spot late. He did not need that as the points leader. But the Toad Man, I wouldn't call it a surprise necessarily, but a solid run in top 10 here, Adam.
You see how much newer Burris's tires are than the Toad Man's. The Toad Man's just liking the style of the way this track is driving. And man, Todd is all the way up in the marbles coming off of 3 and 4.
Man, that is hard to believe. He just passed Burris. Burris has 12 lap fresher tires. Burris's car must have an issue, or he just not. And you can see some damage on that right front, Adam.
Yeah, he did tap that wall, but we got 2 laps to go, and looks like Leal is going to take it to the house.
Tom Ashley really loose. Corey Buskirk with a late pit stop from 16th. Holy cow, you don't want to be stopping now. He must have not got enough fuel in. Ripka's managed to move up to 4th, Jackson 5th, Bruce fallen to 6th, and Thompson's fallen off. So that battle was all settled. George Leal has taken the white flag. He heads down in 1 through 2, the 51, looking as good as ever. His lead trimmed slightly, but it does not matter. The 51 has been dominant here tonight in the Greg Biffle Memorial 200. He'll come out of 4 and he'll head to victory lane. What a job by George Leal.
That is a phenomenal job. He figured it out. He's figured out how to utilize the track to his advantage, and he did a wonderful job winning this race.
You see Ripka 4th and Jackson in 5th. But Leal, I would say the race-winning move at him was around lap 10 or something. He raced out to the front, and then he said, you know what? I'm going too hard. And he backed up to 3rd or 4th place until later in that run when he regained the lead. I think the smarts of the 51 is what he showed here tonight.
Yeah, he definitely showed some smarts and patience. It paid off in big dividends because he let those guys go, and then he drove right back around them to come up through the field to get him the top spot.
You see, we got a little picture photo op here with the Biff. Greg Biffle's car right there, smoking it down side by side with our winner, George Leal. Leal out of there. He's going to really lay some smoke down. A good little burnout there, Adam.
Yeah, indeed. He did a phenomenal burnout.
And there is Claus Williams. Not a great night on the track, but great job representing Greg Biffle. Let's get into some other results here as those two talk about things. You see our top 5. Then it was Bruce, Rick Thompson, Tony Ratliff, Craig Martin. What a great night for him. The Toadman solid. Tom Ashley solid. Burris recovered somewhat from a poor starting spot. Gets 12th. Spear, Collins, Travis, not the night he was hoping for. And you can find where your favorite driver is from there. I'm a little surprised Brantley struggled tonight. Fleming struggled tonight too. Someone who's had a lot of speed lately.
Yeah, several guys that I expected to be pretty good at this track because it suits their driving style. It just didn't happen for them.
Of course, RGR Racing will be heading to the ARCA car on Thursday nights next season. So let's go to commercial and have a look at those cars. Here at the Greg Biffle Memorial 200. George Leal, your winner. Old Texas in the books, Adam. A track we both always loved. Does it hold up the way your memory has it, or we'd prefer New Texas these days?
Old Texas all the way, baby. Hate that New Texas. The old Texas performs better, in my opinion. And if Bruton Smith's sons hears this, tear it down and put it back the way it was.
Can you take a challenge here, Adam?
Sure.
Okay, because are you the same person who would complain about running old Atlanta?
Well,
yes.
Well, I do like some different things, but you know, got to experience some different stuff sometimes, but you know,
I'm
some.
sorry to put that to you, Adam. I just there's a bit of a
All right, Mister
contradiction.
Road
It's
Course.
no, it's hey, it's basically about what you like, right? It's not about being up to date. It's not about some of the arguments that are made at different times with, say, Atlanta or Texas from certain people. Really, people just like what they like, and that's the way it is, isn't it, Adam?
It is, but the new Atlanta is just, if you hadn't tried it, folks, it's fun to a certain point, but the new Texas is just not a favorite of mine.
That's
Um,
fair enough. Let's bring in someone who probably liked them both. Who knows? That's our third place finisher, the 89, Troy Torgerson, with a solid third place. Congrats, Troy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dean. We had a good run tonight. Just solid. Nothing spectacular, but glad to be here.
Yeah, well, talk a little bit about it. It looked like a bit of a tough night in general for guys trying to figure out the car track combo here. Looked like, on one hand, the cars were getting a little loose, but they were also burning the right front and getting really tight.
Yeah, after about 20, 25 laps, if you weren't careful with the throttle out of both 2 and 4, I was having problems keeping it straight. But I just had to be a little cautious of what I was doing there. Trying to run 45 laps, 45 to 50 laps, and just hit my marks and keep it straight there. And there was a section of about probably 5 to 10 laps there on that second run where I couldn't do that.
Now we come on to the pit stops, Troy. Seen several people, especially on the first pit stop. I don't know how many penalties went out. I don't think many, but from the booth, it looked like there should have been about 10 maybe or something. Was it a little bit tricky getting on the pit road tonight?
Yeah, my right front was in the 30s when I pitted both times. And sorry, I've been sick for a couple weeks and just trying to kick this cold. But yeah, they did something with those cones. It was kind of weird to me. Maybe I just hadn't been to this track in a while, but just tried to stay to the left side of them both times and not speed. Get off
Well,
in a good good manner.
well, that is the key. Now, the last stop there, you stay out a little long, if my memory suits me, which it usually doesn't, Troy. But so, were you a little concerned about the ability to run guys down here, the way these tires are operating?
Yeah, it was going to be the shortest run for me, so I seen they pitted in front of me, and I was next to lead, so I heard George coming in, so I decided to stay out and get a point, and then come into the pit, and Jason was in the box right in front of me there and was taking off right when I was coming in, and I had a smoke screen and slid through my stop, but not his fault, definitely my fault. I should have been a little bit more cautious, but we're able to drive back up to the front.
Absolutely, you were. And, how was the multi groove racing out there? We did see a lot of guys creeping up the track, Troy.
Yeah, I tried the low line there on the first run for about half of it. Then I moved up a little bit, and Otto was he started pulling away from me there, and he was running that line a lot better than me. So I went back to what I was doing, and it seemed to work better for me.
Well, Troy, you're in what is a extremely tight points battle here. Now you're down the list a little bit, but it is tight, man. I mean, we could have a 10 or plus car shootout going through this thing. Are you thinking about your consistency as this thing goes along?
Yeah, I just take it week to week, man. I mean, look at the drivers we have in this league. It doesn't surprise me at all that we're bottled that tight up. It's a tough league. It's tough to get on the podium here, and definitely tough to score points.
Well, it is, and you've been a tough customer for quite some time now, Troy. Congrats on another top three. The 89 looking as good as ever. We'll give you the mic, my friend. Anybody want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Looking forward to going back and watching it. Wind Tunnel TV does a great job. You guys always do a spectacular job, make it very entertaining. Got to thank Team Spear, Otto and Jason and Daren and the rest of the guys out there tonight. I think we ran all right tonight. We had a couple here in the top three, and let's see here, three in the top. Yeah, three in the top 10. It was a good night for Team Spear. Got to thank all of our sponsors, Alive Church, Kailu Glass, and East Coast Web Printers for our sponsorship to be able to broadcast this each and every week. Got to thank all the admins of RGR, especially all the drivers of RGR. Another caution-free race tonight. I mean, that's probably be disappointing if we didn't have one of those. So, um, yeah, got to thank Doyle. Got to thank Doyle for the great paint job out there. Makes me look better than I drive. Love the guy. He comes out and supports the league, and he comes out and supports me almost every night. So see if I can't shake this cold finally. It's been a couple of weeks. Got to thank the men and women of the United States military for everything they do for us. Love them to death. Thanks, guys.
All right, Adam. Troy Torgerson, the number 89 with a third place finish tonight.
Yeah, I've done slipped down into pit road to catch up with the second place finisher, Ottoviani. Hey man, you're on a roll. Had to win last week, following up with another podium finish this week. Tell us about your race, man.
It was good, man. It was tough track. Very, very tough track. I felt like there was truly no tire saving. You really had to if you tried to run it light, you would just roast your right front and you wouldn't get so basically what I just tried to do is just get equal tire wear. Just try to wear both of them out so at least it feels the same all the way around and first run I saved way too much. Second run I got after a little bit and the third run I was as fast as I could go trying to catch George, and there was no catching him. He had that thing hooked up with that goofy entry, sharp turn center, and straight off. He was on fire tonight.
So, would you say you were having to drive the car deeper to get it to do what you wanted to, or you had to kind of pace yourself on how far you drove it in throughout the run to get that equal tire wear?
I just tried to be really aggressive but under control. So still, you know, using my inputs to make the major turns. Trying to dive it in and then immediately get on the right rear because that's where I felt most of the speed was. My car wasn't set up to go deep up high and then kind of rocket it down. I just didn't have the bias in the car to do that. I set it a little too high from what I thought the way the track would go. I didn't. I wanted to try to get up a little higher and see about the tire wear, but man, I got it in high. It just pushed straight to the wall, so I made me a little nervous.
Yeah, and I saw you capitalize on a couple really good moves tonight. Your teammate Darren had a little bit of tough luck. He got loose and went out there and got sponsored by John Deere cutting through the grass. And I saw that, there was a couple times it looked like you were maybe a little bit uncomfortable at points, but all in all, man, great finish. Way to go. And by the way, did you have Batman in your ear this week?
Nope, not tonight. He's running the
That
duels
is
for his league race.
that is why the bat signal failed. We put it out and he didn't come calling.
Everybody's
But
No,
committing
not
crimes
tonight.
out here out of
yep,
Vianney.
hitting crowns. Yep, they're stealing everything. Well, Ottoviani, fantastic finish. I'm gonna give you the floor. Thank you, sponsors, and good points tonight for you, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Big shout out Team Spear. Darren, he should have came in second. Um, we're fortunate that Spear was able to get what would we got three in the top 10, two in the top three. Jason had a tough ride. He brought it in 13th. He did good and yeah, I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate all our sponsors, all the admins, Caillou Glass, Live Church, and I'm sorry, but I'm having a brain fart for the last one. Um, but yeah, we'll take this and oh yeah, big shout out to Bryce. He paints all my cars. We've been we've been running some spot and stuff like that, so it's been a blast, and can't wait to get to the next one. Appreciate it, guys.
Dean, that was your second place finisher, Michael Ottoviani.
Yes, sir, and I'm down here with the 51, Mr. George Leal, back in victory lane in dominating fashion. Congratulations, George.
Appreciate it, Dean.
I mean, what a night. And I want to talk a little bit. You know, I've been so impressed with your intellect out there to adapt to what's going on and maybe not be pushed into things you're uncomfortable with, you know, such as the speed and the pace that you and Bruce and Thompson were setting out there in the early going. You kind of backed out, you know, 5-10 laps into it and fell a few spots. Was that on purpose? Was that maybe the key to your race tonight?
Yeah, I think it's pretty general for my style. Daren, he goes pretty hard, especially on these mile and a halves. Sometimes he can do that and maintain it for the entire run. I knew I didn't want to push my car that hard because I knew you could burn the right front up if you push it a little bit too much. Saw the 76 coming. I know he's usually going pretty hard too at the beginning of the run, so I figured I'd let him go and maybe he'll put some pressure on Daren and just kind of see where my car was going to land to the middle end part of that run. I hadn't really done too many long runs, so I wasn't really sure. But ended up getting by the 76 and finally got by Daren there towards the end of the run and put a little gap on him. So that was good.
So where does that come from, George? The ability to see these drivers and make decisions at that point in the race. Is this a fact of, you know, the community here at RGR? You get to know these drivers so well, you can decide on a driver by driver basis, or is this more about George Leal and what he's going to do?
I would say a little bit of both. You definitely race with the same guys enough. You know how they race. Um, if somebody's they're going to be going as hard as possible, there's no point in putting yourself in harm's way. And typically, if you let those guys go, you'll catch them if we end up getting a long green run. But generally, for me myself, I'm more of a mid to long run person, anyways. It's just the feel of the car. I don't really know that I necessarily am like driving slow, but you just naturally feel the car and you drive it, as hard as you can to the point where you're going to burn your tires up. That's kind of how I just go about it.
Absolutely. And I want to switch gears a little bit. Tonight's race, of course, the Greg Biffle Memorial. I don't want to really put you on the spot, but I guess I'm going to, George, and say, do you have any Biffle memories or any stories you want to tell about the Biff?
Uh, Not near really anything specific. I can't remember what track it was, if it was Harvick or whoever, but they got into it on pit road. I feel like there was a couple of those with Biffle. He was
Bristol.
pretty Bristol. Okay, yeah, he was a pretty fiery guy, which I love in a race car driver. I was never a Ford or a Roush guy or anything like that, but you know, you listen to any of his competitors and any fans that watched him, the dude drove his ass off, and he was a hell of a race car driver. And on top of that, you always have to appreciate when an athlete or somebody that has a lot of success in their career does even bigger and better things after their career. And we all know what he did for the state of North Carolina, and I believe they even did some stuff for Haiti maybe after that last hurricane.
Yeah, it's a great point, George, and we talked a little bit about it on the air. It's an awesome thing, and you know we also talked about RGR and the community you guys have, and you guys kind of do this type of stuff for each other and meet up and all that. And I mean, just talk about that. I mean, you know, winning is great and all that, but it's better to be around friends, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's good to get to know the guys you race with. It kind of makes it a little different uh, when you're racing around them on the track and just your conversations. But you know, a lot of guys spend a ton of time on here on this iRacing game or in other games, and so just to build those relationships with people and build that camaraderie amongst the group is it's big. And yeah, it's definitely big here at RGR.
Well, it is. And the other thing you're building is a great resume, George. Another victory here tonight in the Xfinity Series. Congratulations, man. It was a great performance. Happy for you. And we'll give you the mic. Anybody you want to shout out or thank?
Yeah, appreciate Klaus and Shane for coming up with the idea for the Biffle numbers on the top of our cars, and for Klaus for running that Biffle car, and obviously thoughts and prayers out for anybody uh, affected by the plane crash there in North Carolina, and not just the Biffle family, but the other families affected as well. Uh, Also, want to give a shout out to our sponsors here and you guys at WTTV. Appreciate you guys doing the broadcast. Love going back and watching. Looking forward to this one specifically. But Alive Church, Kailu Glass, and East Coast Web Printers, we really appreciate what they do for our league and all the admins for keeping this thing rolling. And we wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you as well. Adam, that was our race winner here, George Leal, putting on a dominating performance.
Yes, indeed. He did put on a performance tonight. And Merry Christmas to all the fans and the RGR family, and hope that everyone has a safe and wonderful Christmas. And remember the reason for the season. Remember that this is Jesus' birthday, and hug your families tight.
Yeah, you better believe it. It's about family, about Jesus, about a lot of things here this holiday season, and a big Merry Christmas to everyone. And I just want to point out, racing wise, too, here, Adam. Nick Burries with his climb back to 12th. Maybe not quite where he wanted to finish, but an improvement from where he started. I think he opened up the points lead perhaps a little bit, so great job by him. And from what I can tell on these point standings, we got ourselves a battle, Adam.
Yeah, the points hadn't been updated just quite yet because we're missing some double dogs tonight, but I'm sure that it is definitely tightened up.
Damn, that's what we've been missing. We need some dibble dogs for the holiday season, folks. Put them around your table. I mean, we still don't know what a dibble dog is, so be careful with putting them on the table. But nonetheless, I think that's going to wrap it up here from old Texas. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Adam the Ball Dog Newton, and we'll see you right here next